Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So a lot of people out there are interested in getting healthy and getting in shape with this quarantine that people have been going through, virus and all that, people stuck in their houses. It's a good opportunity to do that. You don't need a membership at a gym. You can start in your own home, and I suggest that you do. It's the best thing that you can do for yourself is to be in good physical health. When it comes down to it, you can lose all your money, you can lose your house, you can lose your friends, your family, you can lose your job. There's a lot that can be taken from you in this world. They can take everything. They can put you in a little metal box in a prison, 4 floors down underground, keep you there for the rest of your life. They can do a lot to you. There's a lot that can be done to you and taken from you, but not your health. They can't take your health. If you're in good physical shape, if you're in good mental health, nobody on this planet can take that from you. That will only help you. I meet people a lot, especially in the town that I live in. For some reason, there's just a lot of fat people, a lot of out of shape people. I know a lot of people who outright refuse. There's nothing, you couldn't even hold a gun to their head. There's nothing you could do to get them interested in being in good physical health. I sort of used to be that way. And I let myself go, and I just kind of didn't care anymore. I had been in decent shape when I was younger, coming out of high school, early 20s. I felt like I was, pretty good shape, pretty athletic. And then as we get older, get wrapped up in our daily lives and just, get bogged down with work and hanging out at the bar and those types of things, get exhausted, don't feel like we have time for exercise or the interest, and it all just kind of went away for me. It just was the furthest thing from my mind. I had body issues, and when I would look in the mirror at myself naked, of course I would say, well, it could be better, but at least I'm not as bad as somebody else. And I'd always find other people to be able to compare myself to that were worse and say, well, at least I'm not that kind of fat piece of shit, or at least I'm bigger than that guy. Or it's like you're comparing yourself at the bottom to other losers and then just hoping that that's good enough to get you to sleep at night. That's good enough to get you out of your body issues. That's good enough to just say, okay, well, this is good enough. Are you living in a life like I was where it's just good enough? That's a miserable way to be. That's a weak way to be. It's weakness. That's you convincing yourself that everything's just okay the way it is in this stasis. You've reached this plateau, which is a low one. You're not even way up on the mountain. You're not even climbing. You're just way down at the bottom, and you've reached this one little flat path that you can feel safe and comfortable with. And it's like a little child where you just don't want to do anymore. You've got to a certain point, and that's all you're going to get. I get it. I mean, that's the way I was. I'm describing this from my own perspective. The thing that snapped me out of that mindset, that weak mindset, was my health. I started to get unhealthy. I started to have problems that were just a bunch of minor stuff that all kind of made my life hell, with chronic pain. I was getting sick. I just had a poor immune system, so I would catch the flu, colds, anything that was going around, I'd catch that right away. I was getting all kinds of digestive issues, and I wasn't eating right on top of it, and not understanding the connection between the two. So I'd spend 3 days out of a 7-day week throwing up in like what I thought were food poisoning symptoms. It was just my body rejecting, things, and I was just kind of deteriorating. I looked at myself in the mirror one day. I had lost a bunch of weight because I wasn't eating really anymore. I'd eat once a day if I was lucky, and that would just, it could be some toast. It could be anything I could hold down. And I found myself skinny and weak, physically weak. And I'd always had this image of myself of being stronger. And I realized, no way, man. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable behavior. This is an unacceptable lifestyle. This cannot happen anymore. This will not happen anymore. I need to change. I need to be stronger. That's going to be my main goal right now, is to be stronger. So I got on a program, and I was able to just use some simple tools around me. You go online, and you can look at very beginning workout plans. And the way I started off was with body movements. So I didn't go to the gym. Eventually, I got a membership at the gym, and I started off at Planet Fitness, which is very cheap, and it's not far from my house. I hate Planet Fitness, but it was $10 a month, and it was good enough to get me up there and to start pumping some iron and to get to that next step. But I didn't start with that. That would have been a lot to ask me to start with, because that takes driving across town, parking, going into the place, having little workout clothes, having a little workout towel, having a little workout bottle, water bottle. You gotta have stuff, and I didn't have none of that crap, and I wasn't really interested in that. I could convince myself why the gym was just a bad place to go. Waste of money, waste of time, full of pretentious idiots, whatever. But I knew I had to get healthy. I knew I had to get stronger. I knew I had to get to a place, at least that I had used to be. I had an image of myself in my mind of the way I used to be when I was in my late teens and early 20s, where I was in pretty good physical condition. So I had to get back to that at least. But all of a sudden I'm in my 40s, so it didn't really feel like it was going to be very easy. I was full with doubt and discouragement going into all of this. Very skeptical. Like you're trying to coax a timid animal into eating from your hand. And I was like that. And just like the whole thing, I don't know. And woke up one morning, and first thing out of bed, I woke up early. I hadn't been sleeping well anyways. So I kind of would get sick of fighting the battle and just get out of bed and just be like, fuck it. Maybe I'll take a nap later. And I started doing some burpees. Burpees are great. You know what they are. If you haven't seen them, Google them. But it's kind of like a push-up and a squat, and there's a little jump in between, and it's a full-body exercise. You can do those anywhere. Military guys do them. Guys in prison do them. People on sports teams do them. And I started doing burpees, and I did only like about 10 of them, and I was exhausted after the 10, and I was just winded. But as I was standing in the shower, taking a shower, getting ready to go do my thing, shit, shower, and shave, and get out of the house like normal, I many times wouldn't even eat breakfast, I found myself hungry and thinking about food. And that was like a really rare thing to me. And I was just like, well, I'm actually hungry in the morning. So I went and had a breakfast. And after the breakfast, I felt so much better than I had the previous morning. And I realized, wow, these two things made a big difference. All I did, I spent, not even 5 minutes. You could do 10 burpees in 15 seconds. I did this in less than 30 seconds, less than a minute. I got a tiny little micro workout and ate breakfast. Two things that were a step forward from yesterday. It was a realization. I was just like, whoa, I feel better. I had been feeling like such crap, just in general. I felt better mentally. I had a pretty good day that day. The next morning I did the same thing, only I did more burpees. I did 20. I ate a little bit more food, and I started getting on this regimen of every single morning doing some burpees and trying to get a little bit more food in me, trying to eat good breakfast, get some healthy breakfast, get some protein, get some fruit, get some oatmeal, something, better than nothing. Usually I would just drink 4 or 5 cups of coffee, maybe a donut if I was lucky, and that'd be nourishment. I'd have to go to an 8-hour workday off of a donut and 4 cups of coffee. That's hardly a way to live. You're going to lose muscle doing that. You're going to atrophy. That's not a way to, you're on a calorie deficit at that point, and you're going backwards. It's going to hurt your immune system. It's going to hurt your mentality. It's going to make you walk around anxious and have all kinds of problems. I was going through that, but I realized, whoa, I have a little window in the morning of where I can break beyond that, and it's small. I slipped back into it later in the day because I still wasn't treating myself right, but I had this little beginning. So that's what is really the start, is just that little bit, that first couple steps. Those baby steps are so important, and it'll really teach you. I can't explain this to you. You have to try it. You have to do it. So wake up tomorrow morning. If you're not on any kind of workout program, you're not on any kind of exercise program, you're not really eating right and treating yourself right, wake up tomorrow morning. This will have a snowball effect into other areas of your life, and it did for me. It'll affect your mentality, your sleep, all other aspects of your health. But you have to start somewhere. And most people don't even know where to start. This is where you start, with body movements and just having a decent breakfast, a decent meal in the morning. The next things that you can add to this once you tackle that is do a little bit of work on yourself in the mornings. Do a little bit of reading. It's so important. Reading is so important. You have to read. When I talk to people, especially men, women usually read more than men. I know guys that haven't read books in 15 years, haven't read a single book. I mean, maybe they've read a street sign, or maybe they've caught something on their phone, a headline or something on their phone, the occasional article that someone sends them, but they don't read. They're not just sitting there and reading. It's important to do, and it makes your brain operate in a better way. It's part of your mind, body, and soul regimen. When you add in the mornings some body movement exercise, some healthy food, and a little bit of reading, which you can do other things, but reading is a good start to get your mind going. Those three things will propel you forward for the rest of your day in ways that you will be so thankful for. You always add to it. Read a little bit more. Read something more complex. Read something that really makes you think throughout the day. Do 50 burpees. Do 100. Do 500. Bust those out until you become a burpee machine. After about a month, one solid month of beginning with this regimen, 30 days, you're going to realize that you're ready for the next step. And the next step is always adding more to your plate. Adding more to your plate. Literally and figuratively. Eat a bigger breakfast. Work that breakfast off. You don't want to just be pounding, steak and eggs and tons of food without a good exercise. It's just going to make you fat. The burpees aren't doing it much anymore. You're doing 50 of them and you feel like, wow, I feel like I could get somewhere else. Great. You're exactly where I want you to be. Next thing you're going to do is start adding some actual weights, some real explosive, intensive exercise into your system, and you're going to start taking the next level. You're going to really start getting in good shape, building some muscle, start eating a little bit more protein, focus on protein, get a lot of protein in the morning, and also work your mind. Add some things into your regimen with, becoming smarter. You can learn to meditate. That releases your thoughts, all that jumbled bullshit, that self-talk. Puts you more in the moment. It's a good practice. It's just a good way to learn how to take control of your mind. That's why you do it. Taking control of your mind will make you a true warrior. You can watch some videos. I love to go on YouTube in the morning after I've read a little bit, and maybe I'll watch one or two depending on how much time I have before I have to start work and start doing my stuff. Watch a 10, 15-minute video. There's all kinds of philosophy, psychology, stuff that's really going to speak to you as far as learning. That's what the goal is when you're looking for those videos. Skip over the news. Skip over the stuff that's just in one ear, out the other, mindless bullshit, water cooler conversation stuff. Look for something that's really going to speak to you, what you're really interested in, a topic that's going to make you think. Get that brain muscle going. All of this together is just the beginning. Now you're just starting to roll down that hill, and it's going to pick up. You may be just a pebble now, but by the time you start getting down, it's going to build up. You're going to start picking more things up, and you're going to be a big giant boulder, solid as a rock, just pounding down that hill, making yourself better and better every single day, and you're going to start really being proud of yourself. It becomes a lifestyle. But you have to start somewhere. So where do you start? You start tomorrow morning. You do some burpees. You eat yourself some oatmeal and some decent breakfast. Get yourself some fruit, get yourself some protein, and do a little bit of reading. Start there. Just start there. Read a page. Do 10 burpees. Eat just a little bit. Don't go to McDonald's. Just eat a little bit of something more decent. Don't have Fruit Loops. Have something a little bit better. Have some granola. Be proud of that and think about the next day just doing a little bit more. But that's where you start. Thanks for watching.